After that very brief introduction by the chickens, except for Sandy, she was feeling a bit camera shy, I think. Um, Summer's almost gone, as the song says. A song by the Doors, rather a long time ago, and Jim Morrison sings, "Where will we be when the summer's gone?" Well, I'll be in the kitchen. Got so much food to prepare, so much food that we've grown so far. Lots of fruit for making jams and um, things like that, and wine. I put a lot of it in the freezer so that I didn't have to deal with it when the weather was so hot. And then there's also things to pick now, which I will show you. Um, how do I feel about that? Lots of work to do. Makes me really happy. I love it when the larder's full. I love it when there's jars of food everywhere and the freezer's full, and I know that there's lots to eat. It's a lovely feeling. Yes, I can go down the shop and buy it or get it delivered, but when you've grown it yourself, you know exactly where it's been, whether it's healthy, whether it's has things sprayed on it, and it's just nice. Anyway, without further ado, I'll show you what's growing at the moment because I haven't done so for a long time, and then I'll make another video later showing you what's growing on the... What an amazing year it's been for fruit. The trees at the bottom of the garden, the wild plum trees that were here when we moved here, have given us so much fruit. I don't know what to do with it all, but I'll find something. They're in the freezer. Rhubarb is a problem. I'm going to move the rhubarb this year and put it somewhere the chickens can't get to. The reason it's covered is the chickens love to eat it. It's very high in oxalic acid and it damages them, their insides, their kidneys. But if they can find a way to get at it, they will. There's a lovely apple there. Pears. We've got pears on the pear trees. They're only little baby pear trees and little baby pears. But it's lovely to see pears on them. Potatoes in pots. They're doing really nicely. We've had some already. And they're rather nice and, of course, nice and clean when you grow them in pots like that. And the compost that comes out of the pots I'll then use on the beds in the veg patch. Another pear tree there. Even more potatoes. And then that potato thinks it's a climber. It's climbing up the chicken run. I don't know whether there's going to be any potatoes underneath. We'll find out later. There's one lovely little apple there. Can you see it? That's a very new apple tree planted this year. And the black elder, well, this is weird because it is developing berries, but it's got flowers on it. It shouldn't have flowers this time of year. That's a May thing. And there's another plum, a Tsar plum. We planted that. And then just behind it is a pixie apple tree, and that's got loads of fruit on it. But it looks a bit bonky because they look as if they're all over one side. That's not going to be ready yet. That'll be ready probably end of the month, maybe October. That'll be fun. And then this is a quince tree. They're not ready yet at all. Can you see the green fruit? They will go a yellowy, goldeny colour. And then into the veg patch. Parsnips there, ready for later in the year. I've covered over the leeks so that hoping to keep off the leek moth. Those covered brassicas have, I covered them too late, I think, probably. Courgettes, we've had too many. I planted too many plants. I keep doing that. We don't need so many courgettes, but they've kept us going. I don't like marrows particularly, so next year, less. Those brassicas and kales, etc., under cover there are growing amongst weeds, which I will chop and drop. I'll chop and drop them when I take the cover off in a bit. That means that they'll go down to the earth and break down. There's no seeds on them, so there won't be any seeds coming from it. Now, this apple tree, which has got fruit on it, it's called Katie, and I was trying to train it as a step over. Well, I'm only 5'2", and stepping over that is going to be a challenge. So I'll have to rethink my training and maybe use a different term. Down here we have more veg and perennial, oh, the kaleettes. Kaleettes are amazing, and they seem to have avoided all the aphids and everything. I really need to take the cover off of it because it's outgrowing the cover, but there's too many cabbage whites around. Last year I took the cover off early and they got eaten. Oh, talking about eating. Um, an opportunist chicken. But she's fine. If that was Lola, she would have pushed her way through there. But Dusty seems just quite happy to peck away at the kale. That's perennial kale. It's an amazing plant. Seems to withstand the cabbage white butterfly. As you can see, one fluttering around there. Brussels sprouts are doing all right as well, thank goodness, after their attack by aphids earlier in the year. And there's perpetual spinach in there as well. I found that keeping beds full seems to make plants happier, which is really weird, but not packed jammed with the same thing, but different things around them. Beetroot in there, can you see the beetroot there? And fruit plant there, which I'm going to put more fruit plants amongst the other plants. Fruit is very expensive to buy and very, very good for you. So the more fruit plants and more fruit I can provide, I've had loads of blackcurrants this year already and loads of strawberries from the plots, but that's going to be my way forward. I'm being attacked by the asparagus. That's the spurn from the asparagus that you let grow out from earlier in the year. Kale in here for later on in the year. That got attacked by aphids, but it's managing to pull itself through. I don't know how much we're going to get from that bed. Going to have to rethink that whole thing next year if we have the same problem. Anyway, tree spinach, which seeded itself all over the place, which you can eat. It looks really pretty when it grows quite young because it's got very young red leaves. And I'm going to put more fruit in this bed, so I'll leave that to seed itself and then just pull it out and compost it in places where I don't want it. Oh, the sun's gone. It's suddenly become very dark. Yes, it has. So can you see, there's still a lot of food to get here, and there'll be a lot of food for later on in the year, which is fun. That's better. A bit of late afternoon sunshine and chickens enjoying themselves foraging around. So next video I'll make on the plots and then you'll be able to see what vegetables are growing over there. And there are a lot of them. See you next time.